All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into something that might seem like a paradox. We're talking about poliovirus, a virus that's this close to being wiped off the planet, yet it's still a top-tier concern for medical microbiologists right here in the Netherlands. It's a genuine national threat, and our vigilance is absolutely key.
So, let's just get right into it. Poliovirus is almost gone, right? So why is your lab right now on the front line of a major national threat? It's a fantastic question, and it really cuts to the core of what poliovirus surveillance looks like today. Being polio-free doesn't mean we're risk-free. And the answer, well, it's a fascinating mix of the virus itself, our unique national vaccine strategy, and the absolutely critical role that you play in all of this.
Okay, to really get a handle on the threat, you first have to know your enemy. So meet the poliovirus virion. It's a non-enveloped icosahedral RNA virus. Now, that non-enveloped part is key. Think of it like a tiny armored ball. It's what makes this virus so incredibly resilient, so tough. It can survive out in the environment, which makes it just perfect for its main route of transmission, the fecal-oral route.
So, let's talk about the global endgame. It's been a monumental mission, but it's not quite accomplished yet. And the final hurdles have some really specific implications for us.
I mean, look at this. We are so close. 2 of the 3 wild serotypes are just gone, wiped from the planet. Wild poliovirus type 2, gone in 2015. Type 3, eradicated in 2019. That just leaves wild poliovirus type 1, which is now backed into a corner, hanging on in just Afghanistan and Pakistan.
But here's the twist in the story, a real paradox of this endgame. The main weapon in this fight, the live attenuated oral vaccine, has created a new challenge. You see, in places where not enough people are vaccinated, these weakened vaccine viruses can start to circulate. And as they spread from person to person, they can mutate and, well, they can turn back into a form that causes paralysis. This is what we call circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus, or cVDPV.
Okay, and that cVDPV issue brings us right back home to the Netherlands. Because of a very specific choice we made decades ago, we have a unique vulnerability. We call it the IPV Paradox, and it's exactly why your lab is so central to our defense.
So here's the deal. This really lays out the big trade-off. On the left, you've got the inactivated poliovirus vaccine, IPV. That's what we use here in the Netherlands. It's a killed virus, which makes it super safe, zero risk of it causing paralysis. It gives you fantastic protection in your blood against the disease, but, and this is the crucial part, it doesn't give you great immunity in your gut. Compare that to the oral poliovirus vaccine, OPV, on the right. That one does give you great gut immunity, but it carries that tiny risk of turning into cVDPV.
So what's the consequence? Here it is. Someone vaccinated with IPV is totally protected from getting sick, from paralysis. That's great. But if they get exposed to an imported poliovirus, say from a traveler, they can still get infected. The virus sets up shop in their gut, replicates, and they shed it in their feces for weeks, all while feeling perfectly fine. They become an asymptomatic carrier, and that creates the perfect storm for silent circulation in the community. And believe me, this isn't just theory. We have a very stark reminder of this in our own recent history. Back in 1992 and 93, an imported case of poliovirus hit the country. It found its way into unvaccinated communities, and it just took off. The result? 71 people were paralyzed, and 2 people died. It was a brutal lesson that high national vaccine coverage doesn't protect everyone if there are vulnerable pockets.
All right, so if we're going to hunt for this thing, we need to know its profile like the back of our hand. Let's do a quick rundown of the essential virology.
So, taxonomically, poliovirus belongs to the Picornaviridae family. The name literally tells you what it is, pico for small, and RNA for, well, RNA virus. It's the classic prototype for the whole enterovirus genus. And again, that name entero tells you exactly where it loves to be, in the gut.
So, looking at its characteristics again, remember that non-enveloped armored ball structure? That's what gives it its incredible stability. Now, a really important point, there are 3 distinct serotypes, PV1, PV2, and PV3. And you have to think of them as completely different viruses from an immune perspective. Being immune to one gives you 0, and I mean 0 cross-protection against the others. That's why the original trivalent vaccine was such a game changer. Okay, now we get to the heart of it, your role. Let's talk about the intelligence toolkit. Because your lab isn't just doing diagnostics, you're running an intelligence operation, and the intel you gather is what launches our entire national response. This quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the mindset we need.
Think about it. For the one patient with paralysis, your lab result doesn't change their treatment. That's going to be supportive care no matter what. The urgency, the real reason you're rushing that sample, is to give the public health authorities, the GGD, the RIVM, the actionable intelligence they need to stop one case from becoming 100.
So what does this intelligence workflow actually look like? Well, first, you need the right sample, and that's always going to be stool. That's where the virus is shedding. Next, you do a selective culture using L20B cells. These cells are special because they have the human poliovirus receptor, so it's like putting out the perfect bait that only poliovirus will bite. Once you have a hit, you do a rapid triage with RT-PCR. This is the big question. Is it just a harmless vaccine-like strain, or is it something dangerous, wild type or VDPV? And for the final step, full VP1 gene sequencing gives you the complete dossier on the enemy, its precise identity, its VDPV status, and even clues about its geographic origin.
Here's a look at the whole toolbox. You've got your gold standard viral culture. It proves you have live infectious virus, but man, it's slow, can take weeks. Then you've got the fast stuff, the molecular tools like RT-PCR and sequencing for that quick differentiation. And what's really exciting is what's on the horizon. Things like direct detection with nanopore could let us bypass culture altogether, which would be a total game changer for how fast we can respond to a threat. So this all leads to our overall strategy for management. And the key thing to remember is that since there's no cure, everything, and I mean everything, is about prevention and containment.
Let's be crystal clear about this. This is probably the most important clinical fact to know. There is no specific antiviral therapy for an acute poliovirus infection. None. Treatment is 100% supportive care. That's it.
So what does supportive care look like? It means strict bed rest, managing that awful muscle pain with analgesics, and then a long road of multidisciplinary rehab to try and get back as much function as possible. In the worst cases, with bulbar or spinal involvement, it means critical respiratory support. It just hammers home the point, doesn't it? Prevention is the only real weapon we have.
Because of all this, the Dutch strategy is all about defense in depth, multiple layers of protection. The first layer is primary prevention, our Rijksvaccinatie-programma, with the IPV vaccine. The second is active surveillance. Any suspected case is a mandatory Group A2 notification, immediately. The third layer is our secret weapon, the early warning system, testing wastewater across the country to spot silent circulation. And the final layer, strict containment protocols for any lab, any poliovirus essential facility that handles the virus.
So let's bring this all together and talk about the mission, your mission. It's all about preserving our polio-free future.
Look, the bottom line is this. Your work in the lab isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning. That positive result you report, that's not just a diagnosis. It's the tripwire. It's the signal that activates the entire national response framework. The intelligence you provide is what protects the most vulnerable people in our society and what stands between us and another outbreak.
Just so you know, all the information for this briefing was put together using a Gemini deep search. If you want to go through the primary sources and dig into the data yourself, you can find a detailed list in the Notebook LM document that's linked in the description.
So, if this was useful for you, please do subscribe for more briefings like this one. And we really do want to hear from you. Drop your questions, your thoughts, your own experiences in the comments below. It's a valuable conversation. Thanks for the essential work you do, and thanks for watching.